Game number 1 in our second semifinal, qualifier number 9. We have the Hardos against Team RageQuit. Yeah, Team RageQuit, they are trying to get into the top 8. They're currently, I think, in 9th or 10th place, and they're very, very close. Should be able to make this work, but we only have the 9th and the 10th qualifier left for additional points in the standings. So if they make it to the grand final, it would be absolutely incredible for them. Either way, they will have to play also in the final qualifier and make sure that nobody overtakes them if they want to participate in the playoffs of the X Cup Winter. So, Tomb of the Spider Queen is the first map as we're heading into this one, and well, let's see. We should see Jojo either banned early or picked. And yeah, there's the Tracer ban. Limu has made a name for himself as a Tracer player, and if you have a competent Tracer player against you, even if it's not the best Tracer player on the server, then chances are that that hero gets banned, because Tracer is just frankly insanely annoying. So he also plays quite a bit of Genji, as we've seen in one of the games today. But there's obviously also a good shot that the Hardos are gonna pick Genji for themselves. Maybe we're gonna get another Genji Anduin game. We'll see. Time will tell. Okay, so here comes Johanna, the ban, as expected. And obviously the Hardos, they are the favorite here. Team RageQuit, they come in as the underdog. They're pretty much a chihuahua barking up against a grizzly bear. And the Hardos are going to try and take them down as quickly as possible. But then again, Team RageQuit had some really nice tournaments. They had some very impressive matches as well. And you shouldn't really count them out. If they get a draft that they feel comfortable with, they can definitely crush you. So now we got Blaze as an early pick. Stukov is still up if you want to claim him. Junkrat is up if you want to play around him a little bit and the displacement, but also the interrupts on any channel. So that would be 2 picks that we could keep in mind here. Yeah, and well, I'm a little bit more curious to what Hazu and Nick are going to take today. But there's a Nuburak, and we got an early Hanzo pick. So with the Nuburak, immediately you're thinking about at least a Stukov pick. They could also come in for Team RageQuit. We have the next ban phase before that is going to matter for the blue team too. So maybe we're going to have a ban. But yeah, Stukov as a follow-up, always kind of neat. Leo usually playing a bit of a role in the side lane too. But we already have one side laner. There's Junkrat. Okay. And Stukov. So they pick Stukov away. They lock Junkrat in for themselves. So we already are looking at multiple stuns that they can now use and displacement from Junkrat. It's gonna make the frontline choice for them quite interesting too. I mean, technically you could play Varian, yes. And that's why we get the ban. Because you have not only a silence follow-up on Varian's taunt, but you also have Junkrat. I gotta throw this out, by the way, especially for the people that are watching this on YouTube. There's always people that are a little bit confused by this. Guys, Varian has one level 4 talent and it's called Taunt. Everything else is what we call a noob trap. Or a quick match talent. So if you are just playing in quick match and you just want to fuck around a little bit, then hey, go for anything and pwn some noobs. No problem. But if you are playing serious in any way, in an amateur league, in a tournament, wherever it is, or even a Storm League, and you're playing a serious game, Varian has a single talent on level 4, it's called Taunt, and there's nothing else. So just to make this perfectly clear, if you just want to screw around a little bit, do whatever you want. But if your goal is winning and playing the strongest setup, then yeah, that's one talent alone. There's Leo, highlighted him a second ago, and we get also Yasuo and Ana. Final 2 picks. Frontline. Limo can now technically get his Genji, so we have that. And we also still are missing the main tanks. That's the next one. And what is it? Tychus and Garrosh. Okay. Garrosh, that's a lot of displacement. We have it on Junkrat, we have it on Garrosh. You have now Tychus in play for added damage. Could burn the front line down very quickly too. Huh. Yeah. I like it. But then again, what is Nick gonna play? On the one hand, I really want to have a Kerrigan On the other hand, I don't really think that it's going to fit too well. You could really lock him down, but we get Tacita. Nice! Nano boosted Tacita. Okay, so they're throwing a bit of a curveball here towards the last pick. Me likey. Tomb of the Spider Queen is the first map. Best of 3 series here in the semifinal. Let's see which team takes the lead in our first game. Best of 3. Game number 1. Hardos on Hanzo. We got Nick playing his account Hans on Tacita. Copenhagen with Leoric, going for Austin's Renewal as his first talent. Bad Benny is playing Anubarak. And Yasuo is playing Ana. The nano boosted Archon is inevitable. On the right side of the map, Team RageQuit with Limo and Tychus. We got Alex Batman on Stukov. No Game No Life on Junkrat. Down for Life on Blaze. And Shizakid is playing a Garrosh. Warbreaker on level 1 for him. And it's showtime. Which one is making it into the next round of the tournament? Oh, level 1. Look at that. We got the Regeneration Master. Plenty of globes to pick up on in Tomb of the Spider Queen. So yeah, that's something that they can definitely do. But the beetle gets crushed. Bad Benny dead again. That was quick. 30 seconds into the game. It's nearly a record. And they go for the second kill and they get it. Hanzo is dead too. So that is quite the opening from Team RageQuit. Easy kills against Anubarak and also against Hazu with his Hanzo. So that's off to a good start. Good for them. How deep can they go with this? I mean, this is about as good as it gets. You start the game, 1 minute mark is in and you already have 2 kills. Bad Benny arrives in the middle of the map and is immediately back down to 50% HP. Successfully dodging a couple of the heals here from Yasu. Okay, finally we got one hitting. Oh boy, but yeah, that was quite the opening. But alright, again, early game kills, they don't really matter that much. This is the thing in the early game. The early game kills, the death timers are so low that your hero is pretty much instantly back on the map, and the experience gain that you get through it is not all that relevant. Once that you're hitting the mid and the late game, these kills become way more important. But of course, you gain a certain amount of map control, and that matters quite a bit. So we'll see if they can maintain that momentum and take advantage of it. They're half a level ahead right now, so that definitely matters. And they nearly get a kill on Leo, who is safe. Master Assassin on level 4. Standard talent. All the talents on Tychus are viable. Master Assassin is one of the most picked ones whenever you're trying to go for Odin, which is pretty much every single game. Then you can make a play with that. It's actually kind of sad, honestly, that we don't get the drill more often. I mean, it's obviously... I mean, it makes sense why, but it would be kind of cool to have drill viable too. But that's not really the case. So yeah, it's all about Odin, Odin, Odin. But either way, we go for Anubarak again, and Benny dies. Yeah, nice coordination. Benny is down, and that is a few gems also down the drain. Quite a couple of them. Because at this point, we have 20 more gems for the Hardos. And of course, thanks to the main tank gone, they can also go for the camp at the bottom of the map. Whereas the blue team is still waiting for their first kill. Again, Copenhagen burned down to 50% HP. And Team RageQuit is doing work. Now, we've seen comeback after comeback today. So, I'm not going to call it yet. But now Hans is dying. So, Nick is dead. That's 4 kills to 0. And Team RageQuit is just raging through this game. This could get real interesting real quickly. Because if they make it to the grand final, that would also, for the standing, be a bit of a problem for the Chili Donuts in particular. Again, the Donuts are not participating in today's tournament, so that's a problem. They lost more gems. Guys, they pretty much lost all their gems. They lost all their gems, and Yasuo's also dead. Granny, she's not that fit anymore, so she's trying to run away, but again, she's a little bit on the older side, so she dies. Finally, a counter kill at the top at least, so that is a huge chunk of gems. That's a problem. That shouldn't have happened. That was a nice move by the blue team. If they don't get that kill and delete those gems from the red team, there could be a massive snowball. I mean, it's bad enough as is already, but that was important. Because that really... they're still behind in gems, don't get me wrong. So there's still a big gap between the two teams. But that made it a bit better. Yeah, the gap isn't that wide anymore. So that was an important kill for the Hardos. And maybe the signal that they needed to just find their rhythm here. In the meantime, Tacita, he went for the Psion Fusion on level 1. Psionic Echo as a level 7 talent, so we're talking AoE. And they're again controlling Bad Benny and take him down again. Benny is getting farmed. Team RageQuit is turning this more or less into a farming simulator at this point. Benny is just getting murdered everywhere. The exterminators are in the house and they don't like cockroaches. So kill after kill against the Nubarak. And that's a bit of an issue because that frontline sustain is just not there. And it highlights again the amount of displacement in CC that we currently have for Team RageQuit. So 7 kills to 1, level 9, and the first web weavers are now finally coming down, in this case for the red team. So they have an opportunity here. And I want to highlight a little bit that Master Assassin is stacked to 5. Now, normally that doesn't matter in the slightest because you don't pick the talent to complete the quest. You pick the talent for the passive. But we have had in the past a couple of games where we had enough kills so that you could complete it. And this might just be one of them. If they can get a kill here, they can. They're getting closer and closer. Fair enough, they trade, but still, this is not too shabby, and there's a few more gems lost too. And that also results in level 10, so not only is it an additional stack for Tychus, it's also level 10 in the hands of Team RageQuit, and they use that immediately to zone Yasuo out with his pew pew pew. He can't do anything here. Junkrat was pressured in the middle of the map a bit by Hanzo, but was able to make it back to the fountain. And down here, they're dropping this to 50%. Copenhagen is back. Yasuo is still a bit low, so they have to retreat. I'm not really sure if I want to call this a win on the objective or not. I honestly don't think so. That arrow, that one was close. But yeah, it didn't connect, so that's bad news for them. 29 gems to 37. Yeah, there's a jet propulsion, follow up, and goodbye Hanzo. 16 gems. Can they recover them? And the answer is no. They are losing way too many heroes here, and that's a stack number 7 for Tychus. This is getting a little bit crazy. What's happening with the Hardos here? The Hardos turn into full-on softies on Tomb of the Spider Queen, which is, by the way, one of their best maps. Another kill. That's a double kill. Guys, Tychus is farming his level 4 like there's no tomorrow. They get kill after kill. What's going on here? Team RageQuit is raging hard. They're going in for one drop after another. Tychus has 9 stacks at this point. And, like, what? They pretty much removed all of the gems again from them. That's nasty. Absolutely nasty. 11 kills to 2. A level lead. The amount of gems that they're holding in comparison to the Hardos who haven't gotten a turn in yet is crazy. But you still gotta deliver those. They were hoping to go for Bad Benny again. Now, this time it didn't work out, but obviously everyone on the blue team side is super careful right now, and for good reason too. Yeah, it's a bit crazy. I mean, team, hello. So, down at the bottom, what else do we get here? They go for the next camp. They leave the middle of the map a little bit open. So technically the blue team can now try to turn in. They were actually attempting to sniff them out here. But the red team is simply trying to wait for level 13. And they know there aren't enough gems yet for a turn in. So now that they have enough gems, by the way. RageQuit has enough gems. It's the Hardos who are still lacking a couple. But now that they have the level 13 talent advantage, they can make the play for the turn in. And that's kind of what they're trying to do here. So Reptile gets interrupted. That was a bit of a fail. But what can they do at the bottom of the map? Jet propulsion this time. Yeah, they're chasing them. They're chasing them hard. They shouldn't overchase here, though. There's no real reason for that. Fall back, turn in. But they want to fight it out. They're still looking for a target, and they find Bad Benny. Oh, boy. And he's alive. He's dead. He's dead. They got him. They got him. And here's the bunker. They get Benny. Why? What? Alright, I gotta admit, I didn't expect Odin. Odin is a bit wild. I'm like, wait, what? So yeah, they went for Odin. I honestly got, I gotta believe that Limo just fat-fingered this one. But they could turn in now, and Odin might help them to secure that position. So yeah, it would have been better to save it for the push. But either way, he wasn't low either. But anyways, now we have 12 kills to 2. Still a 1-level lead. And they can deliver that turn-in. And they do. It's Junkrat who gets the final gems locked in. And they also go to Siege Giants at the bottom of the map. So if the Hardos want to make a comeback, they really gotta make a stand now. They gotta make a stand on their forts. And then they need to get their first turn-in. Because so far, they've been on the receiving end of a beating. They've been beaten to a pulp in the first 10 minutes of the game. I mean, it's 12 kills to 2. A 10-kill lead. They've been absolutely crushed, smacked around, hard. And they go for the top again. Benny gets attacked, Tacita gets attacked. And, oh my god, Nick nearly died. And they took Anna down already over here. They go for Benny again. They're just slapping them around. They make this look a bit like Quick Match at this point. Team RageQuit came in as the underdog. Let's not kid anyone here. They came in as the underdog. Clear underdog for this series. And the Hardos are just sitting there and they're taking it. And now 16 is incredibly close. They push through the middle. They pushed at the top. Damage output of Tigers is at 31,000 currently. And with level 16 talents, the advantage is widening. They can't get... Oh, Benny, no! No, not like this! Benny misses the dodge, and now he's dead again. And Nuborak is getting murdered. Seems like he's going for the double digits today. The fort is gone. You could argue that Team RageQuit should maybe push this a little bit further, given how far ahead they are. Try and go for the second fort at the top. But either way, they are taking a big lead. And just look at Tychus' level 4. As I explained earlier, you don't take this to complete the quest. It's usually a pipe dream. It's all about you locking in the passive. You want to have the passive for Odin, but Limu nearly has it completed. He needs 3 more kills, 3 more takedowns, and then he's done. Which gives him an even bigger power spike. So this is getting absolute bonkers. Now, the Hardos have finally enough gems for a turn-in. So that's the good news. If they can just stay alive for a few seconds and deliver those gems, maybe they have a chance to bring it back in structures just a bit. But they've been farmed in every single team fight so far. And Anna is dead again. It's really kill after kill after kill. It's getting a bit ridiculous here. Riptide against Hazo that zones him away. 23 gems on Nick. No way. It tries to get out. A big arrow, and it matters not. Doesn't matter a little bit. 23 gems are gone. And the top fort is getting attacked and likely taken. 16 kills to 2. A single kill, and Tychus is done with his quest. Right now, you just... I mean, honestly, if you're the Hardos, at some point, just like, alright, guys, let's go through it. If Heroes had a surrender button, they would have pressed it a couple of times already. This is getting insane. And I mean, I gotta be honest, it's getting hard to watch. I can hear the cries of despair from the Hardos fans from here. Like, the anguish that they experience right now as their team is being absolutely shit on. You come into this one and you're like, yeah, RageQuit. Who the fuck is RageQuit? Easy grand final participation for the Hardos. And then Team RageQuit just turns it up to 100 and murders them. Absolutely murders them. Are you fucking kidding me? Copenhagen is dead. The quest for Hanzo is completed. He's done with the quest. 30 gems down. 30 gems down. 5 deaths on a Nubarak, 4 on Leo. Trait activated time and time again. Anna has died 4 times. And RageQuit is sitting there and like, we don't even know what happens either. This is getting a... I mean, there's not enough copium to watch this game and think, okay, the Hardos are fine. Now, we had comeback after comeback today. That's definitely true. I just remind everybody of the first semi-final of the day. But this is getting just absolutely insane. We have a 2-level lead now. Finally a turn-in for the Hardos. Finally! First turn-in for them. Let's see if they can build up some momentum here, because they really need it. This hasn't been going their way. Can they honestly turn this back? Can they come in and say, alright guys, we still got a solution here. Let's get a few kills in. Let's work on that 5-man wipe and they make that play. Because so far what's been happening in this game is not legal in tons of states and countries that I've visited in my time. And yeah, this is just nasty. If you have kids watching this, I'm not responsible for the psychological damage that this is doing to them. Yeah, like, honestly, they will need professional help. Like, I can try and guide you through this disaster, but that's not something I'm qualified for. So, yeah, they will need some professional help there. Now, the Hardos, then again, they're trying to make this a little bit of a Cinderella story right now, because they are at least taking the structures down. So that's the good news. Structures are currently being destroyed. The Rip Tire is getting popped over here. We also got After Decimate on level 10, the upgrade, the Deadly Calm. But they lost every single forward. So, you gotta, I mean, I gotta at least say that when it comes to impacts of turn-ins, they did well. In structures, the two teams are even. That's something I didn't expect here. Shiza Kid gets attacked. Is it finally the moment to shine for the Hardos? A kill that deserves applause. After the disaster that has been to the Spider Queen, that deserves a round of applause. So good for the Hardos. Can they do more? Here comes the kill on Blaze. And guys, maybe they turn it down after that. They turn it around. But yeah, there's a kill. There's a follow-up available. They want to go for Alex, but they can't get him here. Alright, so Limo is moving away too. But finally a little bit of momentum for the Hardos. Now the turn-in potential is there for Team RageQuit. But the Hardos are making a couple of moves. So off we go. I mean, they gotta at this point really just dig deep, right? And in structures, they are in the same position. So the Hardos are gaining a bit of momentum. First of all, they're closing the gap in experience. It's actually impressive in and of itself. If you look at the hero experience difference, that's nasty. But the Hardos have done a much better job in soaking the lanes, as you can tell. Minion experience is heavily favoring them. And that's the reason why the gap is getting closed now. They have their level 20 talent too. So all of a sudden, we have them dead even on the map. I'm not even kidding. It's even levels, it's even structures, and now they're going for the big kill on Junkrat that they might or might not get. Junkrat, mid-air, he goes down. The arrow would have finished him off too, but it wasn't even needed. So Junkrat is dead, and that is the staggered death. Just as everybody else is back up on the map, they are losing their damage dealer, and they lost some gems too. Now, the good news for fans of the red team is that they still have enough gems to get another turn-in. The bad news is, so do the Hardos, and they're going for the next turn-in. So, here we go. Bad Benny, they have the chance now. They're actually turning this game, aren't they? The fuck is wrong today? I mean, honestly, guys, what is happening today? Game after game after game. We are ending up in scenarios where a team dominates for the first 15 minutes and then just loses control over what's happening. We literally have a Tychus that has his level 4 talent, the Master Assassin, completed. That's where we're at. Benny is still struggling to get his globes together for level 1. So he's 5 away, and then he's going to be able to sustain himself through these fights a little bit better. But right now, the game continues, and the gap in deaths is still crazy. But the Hardos now have even talents with the opposition and get another turn in. Like, what's going on here? Seriously. It's kind of nasty. Here comes the Web Weavers. They're touching ground. And off we go. There's the chance. Team RageQuit was leading with 2 levels for a long time. But yes, late game kills, they matter a lot more. And as mentioned, the Hardos did better on the lane sustain. They took these lanes. They took the minion experience there. And bridged the gap that way. But now, the first Web Weaver is defeated, Junkrat is taking care of the top, and the rest of the red team is focusing at the defense on the bottom of the map to try and make the play here. Off we go. Tychus, I mean, he is just crushing it right now, obviously. Massive attack speed for him. He can definitely crush. If he gets in a good spot and they can empower him, he is going to absolutely dumpster. That's the damage output for our boy. 55,000, not quite top damage in the game, but obviously Hanzo is usually farming with his poke a lot of damage, whereas Tychus can definitely keep up with him here and also has the added siege damage that he brings to the table. That's a fair chunk. Still 20 gems in the hands of Team RageQuit, and they're waiting for the next turn-in. But now the map is closing in on the red team. Yeah, every single lane is pressuring towards the right side, and those keeps are starting to take damage. Benny is also done with his quest, so that's good for him. That means that now we have him with the additional 500 health here. Definitely needed, considering how he got farmed. And it seems like we're going to get a sneaky one. 7 gems, all they need, and that's what they get. So there's the turn-in. The bottom keep, though, gets attacked. And they're trying to bring it in with Limo. Oh, careful, not like that! No! Oh, the isolated kill on Tychus. That's the worst moment in time to lose your damage dealer. Oh boy, that is just dirty. That was a mistake. That was a bit of miscommunication. You could literally see that they were just hoping to maybe get a kill. Then he got a little bit too greedy, moved too far out, gets punished, and now it's an easy defense for the Hardos. The blue team is pulling ahead. They're pulling heavily ahead right now. They're obviously still far behind in kills, but that doesn't really matter at this moment in time, because now it seems like we're going to get maybe a kill. Oh, that was a good jet propulsion. It was a great jet propulsion. That's the end of Anna. One way or another, she's going to die here. She has to die. They need to... Are you fucking kidding me? There we go. They get Anna. They get at least 1 kill. Can they get more? Oh, beautiful sandwich play here in the entomb. Nice maze as well. Yeah, he wants to clean out the trash, but can they get that hit? No, not yet. Web Weaver's top side, they're doing the most damage, but they're still pushing through the bottom, and Tychus is back to business. If he can help them to siege up with his ult, that would be the play. Top, yeah, that didn't really do a whole lot. Can they still play around the bottom a little bit? The Web Weaver is going to be gone soon, but Tychus is coming in, and Anna is down for another 30 seconds. It's a small window of opportunity, but it is a window. You can play around it a bit. Just imagine this entire push with Tychus being around the entire time. That would have been a much different story. And they are attempting to siege up on it. And obviously, this is going to be a bit tricky. So, yeah, they need to try and siege up there. They're also going for the camp at the same time. That's a little bit of a problem, especially since Garrosh gets attacked. They're spreading themselves too thin here. They definitely do. The arrow after the cocoon. Garrosh is dead. And Blaze doesn't look too good either. Yes, but they want too much. They just want too much. They were trying to go for a siege and for the camp at the same time, and the Hardos punished them. They didn't care that they were still down 1 player, their support of all. Now you're looking at 58 gems for the Hardos, and it seems like they're going to go for a Hail Mary here. Are they really going to go for boss? Are they trying? There's no way. Oh, Admiral Akbar wants his playback. It's a trap! But there's just no chance that the Hardos are just face-checking a bush like this. That's just not happening. 23 minutes into the game, both teams on level 23. Anna's going to solo the boss. Just kidding. And, well, she's going to get a bit of an assist. Yasuo with a big pew pew pew. But here comes the rest of the team, and they already have the Web Weavers. Yeah, the experience is really showing now. The Hardos are making all the right moves, and Team RageQuit... You could, I mean, honestly, I feel they were a bit surprised by how far ahead they were, and then they started just making some mistakes. Now, we got the Force Barrier on level 20, by the way, so we don't have the big Twilight Archon, but now you have Web Weavers late in the game, plus a boss. That top keep needs to fall right now, and they might be able to go for core here. It's a bit crazy. The Hardos they're going to win this. If this continues and Team RageQuit doesn't somehow turn it around, then this is a victory for the blue team. They should never have been able to recover, but you can tell that there is a big experience gap between the two teams now. And the Hardos, they're making the right late game moves, and that obviously is worth a lot at this point. Even with Tychus in the position that he's in with a completed quest, he's just not able to defend this easily. The keep is gone. The one at the bottom of the map should also be destroyed since the Web Weaver is now pushing for it. In the middle, yeah, that's not going to be a problem anytime soon, but the core is under attack. And they are just getting slaughtered here in the late game. It's impressive if you think about the difference in kills. There's not a whole lot of kills that came together for the Hardos in the late game either. But every single kill they get leads to some value on lanes, some structures taken down, some bosses taken. Yeah, definitely not the Hardos' finest hour, I can tell you that much. That game was far from clean. But the way that they were able to recover, that's still impressive. Now, obviously, some of this is the fault of the red team being a little bit too aggressive in the late game and making moves that just got punished. But still, those mistakes had to be exploited, and that's something that you have to commend the Hardos for. It's not over yet. The arrow gets dodged straight through the middle, doesn't hit anything, and the red team is still looking for kills. They want to turn this around. They hope that they can get a few more hits in and then win the game after all. But Blaze dies, and this might be the beginning of the end. With 2 keeps already gone and the core suffering 10% of damage. Now that Garrosh is dead as well, there seems no stopping the blue train anymore. The plain train is moving in. 81,000 damage for Tigers. He's trying, but the keep is getting mowed down hit after hit. They're going for Junkrat, and he dies as well. Junkrat down. Hanzo's about to join the 6-digit club as he goes for the 100,000 damage. Leo activates his trade one last time, but there is no doubt any longer who's going to win this one. Limo gets isolated away from the Nexus, and the core gets attacked. The Hardos with an absolutely incredible comeback as Team RageQuit is not able to maintain their advantage. They're not able to bring it over time, and they lose game number 1 in the semi-final. GG, and well done, the Hardos, with a big 6.5 out of 10 comeback.
Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV.
Towers of Doom, map number 1, Team RageQuit. They must be a bit frustrated here. Yeah, that was a win. They needed to win this one. This is one of the problems that you have sometimes, that if a lot of the teams that have a lot of potential in the early game, they come in, they take a big lead, they are doing well in the mid game, and then when it comes to the late game, they're just not exploiting the advantages that they have well enough and allow the opponent to get back into it. So obviously the Hardos, they need to be congratulated on able to pull that comeback off. That was pretty impeccable there. But the way that they got slaughtered in the early and the mid game, being 2 levels behind, talent behind, having to fight 18 versus 20 at one point, and then also losing out on structures, that shouldn't really have happened to them. But they recovered because Team RageQuit didn't quite play the late game well enough. If you spread yourself too thin in the late game, there's a couple of instances where that happened, when they were trying to push against the keep, at the same time taking a camp, getting isolated on the map and killed. Those are the moments where you have to play it clean, where you have to play it safe and not lose even more gems, but really just try to apply the pressure continuously as a team and capitalize on the advantages early on. Because at the end of the day, the problem is if at some point your opponent catches up in talents and you don't hold that significant advantage in structures anymore, then you can always lose no matter how many kills you got in the early game. And the one thing that we have to highlight in particular is the first turn-in that the Hardos got, because with that first turn-in, they got, I think, all 3 forts. Honestly, I don't quite remember if it was only 2 forts that they got out of it or if they got all 3, but that needed to be better defended, and there could have been better control of the turn-in points too. Either way, that's history, ancient history at that, because the lead in the series goes to the Hardos. They're on their way to the grand final, and the only thing that Team RageQuit can do now is try and win 2 in a row to shut them down here, and that's what they're going to try. Stitches gets banned. Lately, a stable pick on Towers of Doom. Globals are also eliminated. This time, no Zeratul there either. Yeah, we had quite a couple that Zeratul got banned. Tracer's up, by the way, so there's a chance that Limo is going to get his Tracer. Might be something that they're going to take now too. Rhaegar is the first pick. And let's see. Lucio. Jojo and Lucio. That means that before the next pick round comes in for Team RageQuit, we have the bans happening, and that might eliminate Tracer. Limo is known for his Tracer plays. He switched off into Genji when she was banned a few times. But if the Hardos don't want to pick her for themselves, then there's a chance that they're going to ban her out just because She's annoying, a good player, can do a lot of work with her. And if you can eliminate that, why not? Unless they're worried about anything else here. Globals haven't really been addressed too much yet, but we have a support on each side, so the chance that Right Wing is getting picked is slim. Falstad is available as a global. Could be played. In an ideal world, you want to have a bit more synergy with his ult as well, but one way or another. We get the ban on Hogger. Alright. Hogger is banned out. And Samuro. They want to make sure that there is no shenanigans whatsoever from Team RageQuit. Nothing. Yeah, so Samuro and Zeratul both banned. That leaves us with Tracer as an option. Side lane. We go for Hanzo. And we got Urel. And makes Tracer a little bit less likely right now. Still, I guess, depends a bit on what the Hardos are gonna pick. Keep in mind they could go for the double Shimada brothers again too. They did that in one of the previous games, so Genji is still up, even though we don't know yet what Nick is gonna pick. We have Sylvanas played by Hazu thus far. And side lane. Who are we getting? The Vikings and Tracer! Alright! We have Vikings, baby. They're gonna switch heroes over a bit, but I am a fan. Second time that the Hardos play Vikings in the last two tournaments. They played it last week. I believe it was on Garden of Terror, yes. And now we have it on Towers of Doom. That definitely throws a wrench into the machinery. So now, last pick, Limo for map number 2. It is Reyna. Jimmy in the house, everybody. Okay. Haven't seen the old man in a while. Let's go. Towers of Doom. Map number 2.
Prepare yourself for battle.
The Vikings in the house. Hazu is still playing Sylvanas, though. So Copenhagen is playing the Padawan to Hazu's sensei over here. So on the left side, we got Bad Benny on Diablo, Nick on Tracer, Copenhagen on the Vikings, Hazu on Sylvanas. Copenhagen gonna try and show the old man how it's done. And Yazu is playing Rega. Right side of the map, we got Shizakid on Johanna. We have Alex on Lucio, Down for Life on Urel, Limo and Reyna. Going for the ace in the hole over here. And we got No Game, No Life on Hanzo. Viking time. Yep, we get the Vikings. We got the Tracer rounds on level 1 for the reveal. And Devil's Due for Diablo. So if you're playing with the Vikings, obviously as usual, you want to have a strong 4-man. The Vikings are going to control the lanes, control the experience, soak them up, and also try and get the channels. But you want to have that strong 4-man, and well, Benny dies again. Benny is turning into the new Lauber. Yeah, and Hazu, this reminds me a little bit of game number 1. Both of them died very, very quickly. This time at least Hazu makes it. But Benny is dead again, so he seems to be the new Lauber here, but the game isn't really a good game unless he dies in the first 30 seconds. So yeah, once more he's dead, this time on Dibbles. Lord of Terror, my ass. But what are we gonna get in the long run from the Vikings? How well can they control the lanes here? Do we get those altar channels that we need? Can they be successful again? That's the big question for now. We got still a little bit of poking around here. Limu is obviously getting some nice hits out there. And the good thing for... I mean, one of the reasons why we're having Jimmy in the first place is that you can really start to threaten Tracer. Tracer, a good Tracer player will just dodge out on most of the skill shots that you can throw against him. That's why any point and click is nice. Back in the day, for example, you had a lot of Thrall being played when he was still better in the meta against Tracer because you have the point and click with chain lightning, but auto attacks in general also very, very nice. I mean, there were times when we had Sergeant Hammer as a regular against Tracer because those auto attacks pack a punch, obviously. And in this case, the thought process is also that as a good auto attacker, Jimmy can now come in and start to threaten Tracer when it comes to the sustainable fights. Level 4 kicking in, and that gives us, once again, Eric the Swift. Yeah, down at the bot lane as we are waiting for the first objective to be announced. We already have a bit more poke happening too, with on level 4 now the Hand of Freedom! The American Space Goat is coming in again. And yeah, Nemo is getting his attacks out. Now, with him on Jimmy, we got the fight or flight now. We have, as mentioned before, the ace in the hole. And they are pressuring as best they can. Vikings are, of course, going to play a much bigger role also when we're having more and more altars popping up on the map, because then you can push with the 4-man. That's the beauty when you have Sylvanas as well. Any push that you execute is going to be incredibly painful to ignore. So, yeah, you ignore Sylvanas push at your own peril. And, yep, that is maybe even going to happen here. So Copenhagen at the top, sleeping on the job over here. I don't like it. The fight at the bottom of the map, on the other hand, is starting to turn against the red team. They're nearly losing Lucio here. Eric is down, and yeah, the Overwatch boys were struggling a bit. 4 shots are already fired, so at least the Vikings did their job. Boom. Easy exchange, and they're grabbing the one in the middle as well, so it is an advantageous spot early on for the Hardos already, since they got the 2 out of the 3. Now, on this map, of course, as pointed out time and time again in the last few days and weeks, it seems lately that always the team that falls behind is the one that wins the game. But, yeah. Eric, what are you doing here? Are you sleeping? Are you taking a nap? Come on, Biody. Oh, Nick! Yeah, dodges, but that got dangerous for a moment. Level 7, the unstable compound. Camps now taken all over the place again. We got both teams on level 7, but also now with the spin to win, a little bit more wave clear here for the Vikings that they can use to push the lanes out. So good for them. And once more, we have only a single kill. But there it is, lost souls after the unstable poison. And here we go, the push in the mid lane as Team RageQuit is getting more aggressive. At the top, Copenhagen is using the AoE that he holds to push the lane out even further. Down for Life has to rotate back in, and the fight down here, can they trap someone? They might go for Jimmy. They get the bomb connected, but that's not enough damage to take him down. So, despite their best efforts, the Hardos have thus far not taken a single kill. They've always managed to pressure them though. Nick is obviously starting to needle away at the hit point pool. And with a single altar on the map, this could be one of those situations where the Vikings, especially with the top lane push, can get a bit more value for the team. So they're going to try and make that work. Hazops, he's already sitting tight here. And now down here, maybe a play for the support. No, not yet. Benny a bit low again, but by now he's at 93 stacks, so that's a lot of hit points that he has there. Yeah, they're already starting to channel. But the longer they fight here, the better for the blue team, because mid and top lane get now pressured by the Vikings. And Sylvanas is already doing good work at the bottom of the map too. Nice wall stun as well, and that's a dead Lucio. Sylvanas coming in from the side again, allowed them to get the kill. And she's of course also helping with the push, but Tracer gets murdered. But of course, there is a counter kill this time. Jimmy is down. Level 10 abilities already. That gives us also Bloodlust. And they take the shots. And they also, with 2 kills to 2, have now drawn even on the kill count. Sylvanas hasn't made a move yet for her ult. I was just waiting for her to let the arrow in and maybe take a kill against Hanzo here. That hasn't really happened yet. But they are now pressuring the bottom of the map even further. Balog against URL. That outcome was pretty much telegraphed. But without level 10, Team RageQuit cannot make too much out of the situation down here. So, yeah, here comes the play for the bell tower. They can't convert it yet. The red team is just too close to heroic abilities. But it's down to 50%. So, Blessed Shield, arrow gets dodged. Well done. Really well done. That was not a bad arrow. But the blue team paid attention. Blessed Shield comes out a bit too late. So they can't capitalize on the stun. And that's a lot of cooldowns that they just burned for more or less nothing. Wailing arrow on Sylvanas. She locked it in by now. And Lucio hasn't made a decision on level 10 just yet. But that's a nice back and forth. So far Team RageQuit is doing okayish. Not falling too far behind. The danger is of course always as the Hardos control the macro game too much. As the game continues. And they want the space goat. Nice jump. And that forced her ult out too. So now they can try to push at the top lane a bit, maybe. Already another play for the next camp. With 2 altars popping up at the bottom of the map. The Vikings definitely have their job cut out for them. But also in the middle of the map. The Vikings still on the run as the red team is looking for kills and trying to shut down the macro game a bit. But this is a lot of pressure at the top lane. Down at the bottom of the map, Tracer should be able to get out here. Well, maybe, maybe not. Ooh, that's a kill. Yep, that is a dead Tracer, and they're also, even with the ult on Jimmy now making a play for Rhaegar, who gets away. Diablo is in trouble on the other hand, but he's not the only one. Sound Barrier gets used as we have multiple heroes on the red team incredibly low, and they kill the Vikings with a Hanzo kill. They go for Urel now too. The fuck is happening? Rhaegar with the last bite in what looked initially like an absolute stellar fight for Team RageQuit, since they got the Tracer kill, turns quickly against them. Another 4 shots get fired, and now it's 20 points against 36. The Vikings starting to pressure the top again with Copenhagen. Another camp taken. Sylvanas already moving down to the bottom right of the map with the help of Diablo, taking even more hit points off the bell tower. The level 13 talent for the blue team, also giving them an added edge. Well done. Jeez. Sylvanas in that last fight in particular, Wailing Arrow with value. Absolutely delivering. And now they're making a play for the boss, so that's another 4 shots. And they're gonna get this one too. There was very little else to take on the map, so that was definitely the best decision here. Another 4 shots easily fired as the red team is going for the camp. All of them locking in, so we're now at 36 to 16 points. And the pressure is still mounting up, especially as the Vikings are also becoming stronger and start to control the map more. Damage output. Give you a bit of an idea here. 21,000 for Sylvanas. Hanzo, as usual, is taking the top number in the game. And I'm talking about Sylvanas. Currently, Hardos is sitting down here at the bottom of the map. And has to retreat. Okay. Yeah, easy. Sylv can help to make sure that even the wall is intact. More or less. But also, we have, by now, level 13 talents, obviously, for both sides. And that gives us, in this case, a line them up. Yep. A bit of a cooldown reduction here. Still, double altar is now coming. Normally, that's an even exchange. Don't see any reason why it would be different this time, especially considering that level 16 is going to hit first for the Hardos. I don't believe that Team RageQuit is going to make an aggressive move for that. If anything, they have to make sure that they get their own altar, because Olaf is already attempting to sneak this one in. Tracer at the bottom of the map was attacked by Hanzo again, but Nick made it out. Still interrupt potentially. Slingshot Boy is doing his thing. They're buying some time, especially now that the Hardos have already taken their own. They are looking for the kill. Urel with a move, 16, keep it in mind, it's gonna hit soon. There's the Bloodlust, but they have to retreat from the Hyperion. Olaf is already dead, but they might get the kill against Urel after all. She barely makes it out, but there's a kill on Rhaegar. So the red team is finally able to lock in another one. The problem is that Nick is repaying them in kind. Jojo gets dropped, and yeah, the level 16 in their hands. The Vikings have also snuck in another hit against the altar, down to the single digits now. They channeled the top right altar while all of this happened, and now even Jimmy is obliterated by Bad Benny as he gets the wall stun. And Urel, she doesn't have her ult. Look at Nick. He's again making a play for the backline. Urel barely able to survive here. It is a huge gap by now. Just a quick look at the experience distribution. Minion experience, a big play. But oh, talking about big plays. That was a big arrow right there. But yeah, the experience that we have on minions it's a massive lead. That's where the Vikings are really making the biggest play. But now the counter kill, it's kill for kill all over the place. I mean, honestly. Vikings are just murdering the lanes, the minions, and they get a lot of hero damage in too. So now Shizakit might die again, and indeed he does. Urel just came back and she dies again. Vikings are pushing for the bell tower conversion at the top, and Copenhagen is getting closer and closer on succeeding here. And of course, once that's the case, they're gonna be in so much trouble. It's nasty. With level 16, we now got the Ricochet, and also we got the Largen in charge, which obviously matters even a little bit more, because the Vikings are now having a huge impact in every single team fight. And let's not forget that with 3 altars up on the map, if you get 2, if the Hardos get 2 out of the altars, it's over. Only 8 points for Team RageQuit. Only 8 points. And they take the bottom bell tower. This is a disaster, especially with Vikings up on the map. Copenhagen, this is a freebie. This one is a freebie. He's gonna get this one 100%. Now they are up at the top here. And if they grab this one too, then it is game. The arrow misses, completely flying through the entire fight. The first shots are fired. Lucio is dead, so is Jimmy. This has to be game. The Vikings are escorting some pumpkins through. If the pumpkins make it to the core, it's over too. But the channel has happened, and this is a 2-0 victory for the Hardos in the semi-final. They take Team RageQuit out and move on to the grand final of qualifier number 9.
Thank you everybody for watching the video today. I hope that you enjoyed the show and the commentary. And keep in mind that the spoiler protection that is going to run for the rest of the video is made possible by all the support on patreon.com. So guys, if you want to support my work, if you want to help me start new projects and keep the spoiler protection in place, please consider heading over to patreon.com/Khaldor. There's also a link in the YouTube description, and check that out. Thanks in advance, and see you guys next time with more esports coverage here on Khaldor TV. Have a great day.